Greetings, urban farmers, gardeners, and healthy food visionaries. Farmer Greg here, and welcome to the 444th episode of the Urban Farm Podcast, where every day we work together to educate and inspire you to become part of your food revolution.
Hey everyone, this is Janice, the Urban Farm Podcast Manager, and I want to say thank you for listening and tell you that with our improved podcasts and newsletters, we are reaching more listeners every day. With all this growth, we've added to our team, and this means we can't operate from our pocket change anymore. We want to thank Lacrosse Boots for becoming a sponsor, helping us make this episode possible, and sustaining our podcast mission. Please consider supporting them when you get your next pair of farm boots.
At Lacrosse Boots, we salute the land, the rolling acres you've come to know like the back of your own hands, the fertile soil where your family has grown and your everyday moments have blossomed into everlasting memories. For this land is your land, your bedrock, your private parcel of earth that keeps you firmly grounded to what truly matters most. Lacrosse Boots, done right since 1897. Visit us at lacrossefootwear.com to find a dealer near you.
Today on our podcast, we have someone who takes fruits and berries to a tasty result. We're talking with Sara Wolters about healthy homemade jams and jellies. Sara and her husband own and operate Pomona's Universal Pectin. Pomona Pectin has been around for 39 years, and they've owned the business for just over 2 years now. They have 2 sons and live right next to Yosemite National Park. Welcome to the show today, Sara. Are you ready to rock pectin?
I am, Greg. Thank you.
Excellent. So I shared a bit about you. Can you fill in the blanks for us and share more about the path you took to get where you're at today?
Sure. I don't feel like there's too much to tell here. Casey and I were high school sweethearts, went to college, got married, moved to a different state. When we graduated college, the economy was in its slippery slide downhill. So suddenly houses were affordable, and we started buying houses and investing in real estate.
Oh.
When we moved back to California, my husband started working for a pectin company, which seems pretty random for a pectin company, but
you think?
His parents' neighbor owns the pectin business there, and so that's how we got that in with the pectin company. So while I got my real estate license and started selling homes, my husband was deep in the trenches of pectin knowledge and information. In 2016, through the connection of Casey's pectin job, we spoke with the owners of Pomona's Universal Pectin. They were wanting to retire and were looking for the right people to carry on this business that they had poured their heart and soul into. And with board approval from his existing job, my husband and I went ahead and met with the owners then of Pomona Pectin. And many conversations, coaching, and financial documents later, we finalized the transfer in April of 2017, and we couldn't be happier. We hired a fantastic person to help us with the day-to-day operations, and it's been a full 2 years now since we've owned this business.
Wow. So this is new for you, but it's not new for Casey.
Correct. Yeah, it's been over 10 years now that he's been working in the pectin industry. He is a veritable library of information.
That's pretty random, working in the pectin industry.
It is, right?
How do you get into it?
Well, so his parents' neighbor owned the business. There's a business here near where we live, and they deal with pectin. And his boss's dad had started the company, some 30 years ago or something, and it's just been up here in the foothills of California and delivering pectin all over the country and all over the world, actually.
Wow. Well, and so does Pomona's Universal Pectin. It's all over the world.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yes, it is.
We're going to talk about that in a little while, where you can find it. I do have some interesting history with Pomona's Pectin. I actually discovered them early on in the whole notion of the internet. In the mid-'90s, I found them and loved their product. We're going to talk about what we love about the product here in a little while. But I love the product, and I actually gave them a page on my permaculture.net website back in, I'm going to say 1998. So they had, back early on, they had a presence on the internet because I loved the product so much. So first of all, tell me what pectin is and what does it do?
Sure. So for a technical term, pectin is a soluble gelatinous polysaccharide. Fun term.
Okay.
It's present in a lot of different fruits, and it's extracted for use as a setting agent in jams and jellies. And most commercially manufactured pectin comes from either apples or citrus fruit. And people have found a whole host of other uses for pectin, but its primary use in jam and jelly is what it's best known for.
Is for making it solid.
Yes. for creating that set in a jam or jelly.
Right.
Some people equate it, they are like, well, is it like gelatin? And no, it's not gelatin. It's not an animal product, but it does have that similar function of creating that set in food products.
Mm-hmm. And what are most pectins made out of?
Well, they're generally coming from apple or citrus fruits, the peels and the cores. Like, so from apple, you'd be from the peel and the core, and from citrus fruits from the rind there. That's typically what it's coming from.
Got it. And how is Pomona's pectin different?
Well, different from what you'd see on a store shelf in terms of other pectin brands. So most of what you'd see on a store shelf if you're buying pectin is most of those boxes or containers have pectin cut with sugar or dextrose and other preservatives added to them. What's different about ours is that it's basically pure pectin. In our box, we have a packet of the pure citrus pectin with a separate small packet of calcium. And the reason the calcium is in there is that our pectin is calcium reactive instead of sugar reactive.
Oh, the calcium. Oh, I always wondered about that.
Yeah. So the calcium's added to the jam to react with the pectin to create that set. And that's what allows us to make jam with half the amount of sugar that a standard jam would require. And it also works with any kind of sweetener you'd want to use: honey, stevia, juice concentrate. You could even use our pectin to make a jam without any added sweetener. Might not taste the best, but you could do it.
Yeah, well, and a lot of this fruit, if you're picking the fruit fresh off of the trees and bushes, it's pretty dang sweet.
Yes.
If you're picking it ripe, it's pretty dang sweet. And often I'll make applesauce or apple butter or peach jam with no sugar in it at all.
Yeah, and you get that really fruit-forward flavor, which is fantastic.
And so it's been an exciting 2 years for you. Tell me about the adventure you've been on.
Well, it's, there's been a bit of a learning curve. Yeah, I haven't been in the pectin industry as long as my husband is, but it's been interesting, and I've learned a lot. And we have our employee who has also been with us on this journey, and she's learned a lot as well. And, learning the ins and outs of dealing with distributors and, customer service. I've been in other customer service jobs before, and so that part comes a little more naturally.
Right.
But, helping people figure out what maybe they did wrong with their recipe, or where they can find our product, or just other customer service related issues, that's been a learning experience, but it's been good. It's been a good ride, and we're thoroughly enjoying the journey we're on.
Nice. Well, and you have part of the journey is actually manufacturing this stuff. You have to make it, right?
Well, we get the product. It's there isn't any U.S. manufacturing of pectin, so we get our product from Denmark. And there's a number of manufacturers elsewhere in the world, but we get our product from Denmark. And our warehouse is in Denver, and that's where they repackage it into the smaller little 1 ounce boxes that you buy on the store shelf.
Oh, very good. So really what you're doing is you're doing the distribution and sales and the jam line, which we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Yes.
Very good. Cool. And you've seen some success in 2 years? Yes,
we have. We've seen some growth. It's been fantastic. We're working on the website right now. We're going to give it a facelift here shortly, and that's been good. And we've kept Jam Notes going. Jam Notes is something that the previous owners have been doing for quite a while, which is a newsletter that goes out about every 2 months or so during the main canning season of the year, with new recipes or just fun informational bits about the pectin world or jam.
Yep.
And so we've been doing that, and it's been good.
Cool. Tell me about the jam line, because I know that was always fun to call them and talk to the previous owners.
It's a new number now rather than the old number with the previous owners. But for those that still have that old number, they can still call it, and it'll just route to the new one. But we answer the phone for any of your questions. So if you have you're making your jam and something's just not going right, or if you're about to make your jam and you have a few questions before you start, we are happy to answer those questions. And it's funny, the variety of comments and questions that we get on it. We had one customer who was wanting to use our product to make a DIY hair gel. It has nothing to do with jam or anything, but it's amazing the different uses that people find for our product in trying to make things healthier or more natural.
Yeah.
And we get quite a lot of good questions.
Nice. And so you make yourself pretty available, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Our hours that we answer the phone is Monday through Friday, between 8 and 4 Pacific time.
Pacific time. Cool. Excellent. So I'm on your Pomona's Universal Pectin. I love the logo. You guys just need to go and check it out. PomonaPectin.com. They've done a really good job, and it's getting a facelift. But one of the things I notice on here is you've got a tab called recipes. So if people are interested, and even in the box comes recipes. Tell me about some of the recipes.
Oh gosh, there's so many on there. Some are submitted by some of our customers. Some are from someone we work closely with, Allison Carol Duffy. She wrote a cookbook, Preserving with Pomona. So there's wonderful, wonderful recipes in her book. And so some of those recipes are on our site as well. And we try and put some new ones out there with the jam notes that we do. We put some new recipes. And one that I am really excited about is our nectarine cherry jam that we're going to put up there shortly. And we developed it last summer for a giveaway that we did. And I realized recently that we don't have it on our site yet. So we're going to get it on there shortly. And it is my favorite. Nectarine is my favorite summer fruit. And it's just a fantastic recipe that we're going to get up there shortly. But we do have some fantastic recipes on there.
Excellent. And I noticed that you have some videos also on how to make jam.
There's one that is more of a tutorial. It kind of takes you through all the process of making jam from start to finish. And then another video, so that one's a little longer. It's like 8 or 9 minutes or so. And then the other video on there is freezer jam. And that video is done with Allison Carol Duffy and her 2 sons. And they're demonstrating making freezer jam. Freezer jam's a fun one to do with kids because you don't have to worry about a hot stove. So it's an easy food science experiment for kids.
Cool. And is it hard to make jams and jellies?
Oh my goodness, Greg.
I mean, I know the answer to this, but I need you to answer it for me.
Yes, it is not hard to make. It might seem intimidating, especially with canning. Canning can be intimidating for people, but making jam is very easy. You've got your fruit, you've got your sweetener if you want to add sweetener, you've got your pectin, and you do some cooking. You do your hot water bath canning at the end, which might sound complicated, but very easy. You just put jars in water and boil it. And it's very simple, and it yields such great results. People are always surprised of how easy it is once they make it.
Yeah.
It makes great gifts for people. I know a lot of people like to do it as either holiday gifts or just gifts in general. It's just a nice, easy process.
Yeah. Cool. And so the other part of your success that I absolutely love, I was in a Sprouts recently, and I saw your product on the shelf there. And
Yay.
I know you're in Whole Foods. Tell me about that, because there's been some expansion in that arena in the past few years.
Yeah, so we are in most Whole Foods and Sprouts, and we're in a number of other grocery stores and hardware stores. And some people might think, well, why a hardware store? Well, hardware stores carry a lot of canning equipment, so they have the pectin right there. So hardware stores and grocery stores, we're mostly in natural type grocery stores, but we're trying to work on getting into more mainstream grocery stores, mostly because we sell to distributors that sell then to these other grocery stores. And grocery stores can buy directly from us, or they can buy from their distributor. And the best way to get into new stores is actually by having customers talk to their local store and say, hey, I'd like to buy this product here. And that's the best way to get us into their local store, because then the manager or the buyer is hearing it directly from the customers saying, hey, we want this product. So they're like, okay, then they either reach out to the distributor that has it, or they reach out directly to us to get it into that store. And that's the best way for us to grow into new stores.
Perfect. So all y'all listening out there, if you have a product you want, whether it's Pomona Pectin or something else, tell your stores about it. They'll listen.
Yeah, they want to know what their customers are buying. That way they can sell it to them.
Right, exactly. So I'm on your order page, and this is called, this is your Universal Store Finder. I think that's what you called it, right?
Yeah, the store locator.
And I see USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and others. So you've done a pretty good job of going global with this.
We have in Canada, we've got a distributor that ships it worldwide for us, but we've got a distributor in the UK, we've got one in New Zealand and one in Australia. And then so anyone outside of those countries would just order it through our Canadian distributor, Feel Good Natural Health Stores, and then they can send it anywhere.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very excited. This is a great product. I've been canning for 40 years this year. And
Nice.
yeah, I found this product about 20 years ago, and I always have some boxes sitting on the shelf.
Yes, our beautiful little blue box.
Your beautiful little blue box. Absolutely. So why should people be making jam?
Oh my gosh, so many reasons. So if you grow or forage your own food, as I'm sure many of your listeners do, and have surplus fruit, jam is an excellent way to preserve it. If you want healthy, organic, low-sugar jam but don't like the price tag, making your own jam is an economical benefit there as well. Or if you have a small farm and sell produce at the farmer's market, jam is an awesome value-added product to add to your lineup of things to sell. And if you have kids, again, like I mentioned earlier, jam's a really fun thing to have them help you make. It's pretty simple. It's a good food science experiment. And again, freezer jam being more appropriate for smaller kids if you're worried about a hot stove, but it's a lot of fun for kids. And making jam is just a good intro to canning in general, since canning does intimidate some people, but making jam's just that good introduction to it.
Yeah. Well, and really, canning in general, the process is super simple, as we talked about earlier. And you want to make sure that you have the USDA guidelines, the latest version. There's great books. I actually have a 1970 version of Stocking Up with the latest guidelines in it. And oh my gosh, seriously, are you ready for this? I have, as a bookmark in my Stocking Up book, a Pomona's Pectin pamphlet. Look at that.
Nice.
I love that. As you guys can tell, I love this product, and I was so happy when Sara decided to come on and talk to us about it. So once again, thank you, Sara.
Oh, my pleasure.
So is Pectin having a moment in the food industry?
It is. It totally is. So pectin is, consumers are more and more interested in clean food ingredients, right? So pectin's a very clean food ingredient. Our customers use it in everything from yogurt and ice cream, salad dressings, gluten-free pie crust. It's a healthier alternative to other stabilizers and thickeners such as carrageenan or xanthan gum. So pectin is definitely seen, it's having its moment in the food industry right now, for sure. People like pectin, and so do we.
Nice. And Janice tells me you're going to share a recipe with us that'll come out on our blog here in the next few weeks. What are you going to share?
Yes, the one I was so excited about that I just told you, it's the nectarine and cherry that we haven't yet put on our website. So it's still kind of secret, and it'll be available, that we'll put on there for your listeners.
Perfect. Cool. And you also agreed to send us some boxes of pectin that we're going to give away too, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to shift on you, and I'd like for you to talk about a time you failed, how you overcame that failure, and what you might have learned from it.
Oh, yes, failure. We all love it, right?
Yes. Well, it's it's the best place for us to learn at.
Yes. So after graduating college, we moved up to Oregon for a bit, and the economy was doing terribly. And for lack of anything better to do, I'm like, well, I got to get a job, right? So I got a job selling gym memberships at a gym, and it was a whole period, a 3-month failure, I should say. I can't sell gym memberships very well at all. So it was a good lesson in learning that you can't sell something that you're not into, something you don't believe in. I don't believe in gym memberships. I don't like gyms. I don't go to gyms. So it was not the best job. It was not the best 3 months of my life. I would definitely consider that a failure, but I definitely learned a lot from it in what I can and can't do, and that I do need to believe in what I do. So, later down the road, when we moved back to California and I started selling real estate, that was something I could sell. That was something I could do well at. I loved homes. I liked it. And now with pectin, I love our pectin, and I love what it does for people. We get a lot of customers giving us their good stories all the time of how it either changed the way they make jam or changed their life because it's healthier and without as much sugar. We have a lot of diabetic customers who can't have all that sugar that's in regular jam. So for them, this was an incredible product. And so I definitely believe in the product. And so it's definitely one of those things that's easy for me to turn around and sell and promote and be happy to introduce to new people because it's something I believe in.
Yeah, when we can hear that in your voice. And
thank you.
It is and this isn't bad, but it is a bit of a culty product. I mean, you've had me for 20 years. Yeah,
and it's still so, most people don't even know what pectin is. And then, to hear of this specific product, you're right. It does kind of have a cult-like following.
Which is nice. I love that.
Yeah.
So what do you consider your biggest success?
Well, as of right now, I would have to say the ownership of this business this last 2 years and its continued growth. it was a little nerve-wracking going through the process of buying a business and thinking,
yes.
oh my gosh, it's all on us now. What if we screw up? It's, it's a one-product business, so everything's riding on this one product.
Mm-hmm.
What if the price of pectin goes up? What if import taxes go up? What if nobody wants to make jam anymore? So many what ifs.
Well,
but
I'm going to stop you. Hold that thought,
Yeah.
but I'm going to stop you. The first two could absolutely happen. And given your cult following and the quality of the product, if that happened, the price goes up, oh well.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to stop making jam.
Well, I would hope not. I mean, jam's delicious. But anyway, so there was a lot of what ifs in purchasing the business.
Mm-hmm.
But we're happy with where we've come so far, and we're excited about the product and excited to get it into more stores. So I would say that owning this business is our biggest success so far.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm a longtime business owner. I've had somewhere around 30 businesses in my life. I've been self-employed since 2000 or since 1975. Gosh, you'd think I get my dates straight. Since 1975, I started my first business. I had a paper route before that. And,
nice.
I had a couple of businesses that lasted over 20 years. And I had a couple, a few businesses that lasted a sneeze. And it's a project to take on and run a business. And I've bought some businesses in the past and I've started businesses, and I'm going to say it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not.
But you just take a deep breath and go, especially when you have a product like yours.
Yeah, and that was what was also attractive about it when we were first considering it. Like, well, gosh, are we ready to own our own business? But it had already been established. It had already been around for 37 years, and there was this fantastic following that okay, yes, there are people that really believe in this product, and this is something that we can be happy carrying on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I can't say enough good things about it. So, what drives you?
Well, it might sound a little cliche, but I've got kids now, and so making the world a better place for my kids, and also enjoying that journey of life along the way is what I'd have to say that drives me. Pomona Pectin, I feel like, fits with that drive, since we're providing a product that helps others be healthier in their food choices.
Exactly. Well, and I don't have kids, and that's one of the big reasons I'm doing what I do in the world, because we have to leave this place a better place than what we got. And so,
I agree.
Yeah, especially for the kids. So if you could recommend one book for our listeners, what would it be and why?
Gosh, that's a hard one. I do love reading, so I have quite a few that I love, but I'd have to say The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Wow.
I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Oh, yes.
It's an older book, but very good. Shortly after graduating college, when we moved to Oregon, I read that book for the first time and was thinking, wow, okay, here's the manual for how to be good at life, how to figure out what I want, how to achieve it, how to make that a positive thing for everyone around me. So, yeah, that would be one of my most influential books, I feel like. Definitely worth a read.
Nice. I have to tell you, the way you just presented that was wonderful. And it's a really good, short explanation about what that book is.
It is.
So what one final piece of advice do you have for our listeners?
Well, I think my advice would have to be, don't stop learning. No matter what age or stage you are in life, there's always something new to learn. There's always something fascinating to learn. I certainly don't feel old enough to have sage words of wisdom, but research has backed me up on this, that learning something new keeps the brain ticking in a healthy way.
There you go.
So what I'm really saying is, if any of your listeners haven't made their own jam yet, let me provide you the perfect opportunity to learn something new.
Right, because you have the product, and you have the instruction, and you have the recipes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Pomona.
And it's always good to keep learning.
Yep, PomonaPectin.com is the website, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, Sara.
Thank you, Greg.
You bet. So how can our listeners get a hold of you?
Well, you can find us PomonaPectin.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest, or call us on our jam line, 559-760-0910, or our email. You can email us anytime, info@PomonaPectin.com.
Cool. And if you want to find Pomona Pectin, you go to PomonaPectin.com, and there's a store button on there or a locate button on there, and just search to your heart's content.
Yes, we've got the store locator on there. People can also go to Amazon for purchasing the small boxes, or they can buy it directly from our website. We do bulk on our website as well. Not many people know, for some of our manufacturers, some of our people that are selling at farmers markets, they prefer to buy in a little bit larger quantity. Mm-hmm. So we do offer a larger package online as well on our website.
Perfect. We also want to thank Sara and Casey because they've given us some Pomona's Pectin to give away. And of course, we get to share them with you, our listening audience. So to enter, send an email with your name and mailing address to podcast@urbanfarm.org with the subject line saying, "I'm jamming for some Pomona Pectin." We will pick 5 random emails from the first 50 people who respond during this giveaway. You can also find show notes from today's podcast at urbanfarm.org/Pomona Pectin. We are your urban farming resource. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and everywhere podcasts are found. Also visit urbanfarm.org to find articles, webinars, courses, and more. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us on the Urban Farm Podcast.
At Lacrosse Boots, we salute the land. The rolling acres you've come to know like the back of your own hands. The fertile soil where your family has grown and your everyday moments have blossomed into everlasting memories. For this land is your land, your bedrock, your private parcel of earth that keeps you firmly grounded to what truly matters most. For it is the land of bonfires that torch a night sky, the land of dirt-flinging afternoons that wash away everything but the here and the now. The land where you plant seeds of strength and promise, of faith and togetherness. And so, with rubber on foot and pride in soul, you work the land, you play the land, proudly honoring the timeless agreement that by always nurturing the land, it will forever return the favor. Lacrosse Boots, done right since 1897. Visit us at lacrossefootwear.com to find a dealer near you.